What's going on, friends? Logan Myerz here for Cinephellas.com. Today I'm going to be reviewing the brand new film from Bo Burnham, 8th Grade. Ooh. 8th Grade stars Elsie Fisher portraying Kayla, this introverted, shy, quiet 8th grader in her last week of being in 8th grade and everything she's coming across with relationships and people and just where she's at in her life, going into the next step of her life being high school. Right off the bat, Kayla's character is really fantastic. Most of us can relate to this, me especially. Being in 8th grade, you're not really sure who you want to be. You're kind of awkward, you're quiet. You do have a really outgoing personality, but you don't really fit in. You don't know where you're going to go in life, and trying to figure out what you want to become in high school, the big part of your life, and the next step. So Kayla lives with her father, played by Josh Hamilton. You guys may be familiar with his work. He's Clay's dad in 13 Reasons Why. He's the cool dad. He's hip. He's really laid back. He's there for Kayla. He's trying to have this relationship with her. She's in 8th grade. She doesn't want anything to do with her dad. They're, having dinner, and he's trying to ask her about her day and things she likes, and she's like listening to her iPhone and looking at Snapchat and Instagram and wants nothing really to do with him. We were not really sure why early on. We're wondering where her mom is, and later on in the film we figure out what happened to the mom. So, Josh Hamilton's character is really great. Really standout performance, I would say, in this film, and he's a really likable dad, and he really cares for his young daughter and wants the best for her and her to be happy and to kind of break out of her shell and be a great person. Bo Burnham has a really great way of crafting a story of 8th graders. We're all kind of weird at that age, 13, 14 years old, and we're quirky and we're into weird things and we have a weird sense of humor, and he really portrays that. I guess in this film, where they shot the movie in the school, these were actually 8th graders. There's a lot of great performances in this film. Kayla has a crush on this one guy, this main guy that we've seen in many coming-of-age films. We've seen this in a lot of films, a lot of John Hughes films, like the nerdy characters has the hots for the really rebellious or the popular boy. And that's true in this movie as well. She's really into this guy. And they cut to this kid, and all you see is his eyes, his dreamy eyes, and like his shirt off and things like that. And it has like cool synthwave music in this movie they cut to in different acts of the movie, and it's really, really great. And with Kayla, she has a YouTube channel each day. She kind of does a little vlog, talking about, building confidence, coming to terms with who she is, and like trying to build confidence and go out there and meet people and make friends and really just become a better person. And being an introvert, she does have a great personality. She just doesn't know how to display that with her, schoolmates, and she's thrown into the situation. She has to go to this popular girls' pool party, and she really doesn't want to be there because they're popular, and she's kind of the nerd and quiet one, but she's thrown into that. And you can see how really terrible kids are today in this movie, especially because they're so wrapped up in social media. They're staring at their phones all day long. They're in school, they're at a party, they're not even like interacting with one another, just staring at their phones like zombies, looking at Instagram and Snapchat and the stupid filters they have on Snapchat. But she's thrown in this situation that's really out of her comfort zone, and she does the best that she can really do to fit in and try to make some friends. And there's a boy there that she becomes friends with. He's kind of a weird kid as well. They kind of hit it off and become friends, but the rest of the popular kids kind of look down on Kayla as being that geek and person they don't want to be friends with. So coming up to the end of the 8th grade year, they have to go to high school to shadow high schoolers to see what they're going to be coming across next year and how everyone is in high school, different personalities and different groups and things like that. Kayla becomes friends with a high schooler, and she kind of shows her the ropes of that school, and they actually go hang out at a local mall. I guess that's still popular to go to the mall. I thought malls were kind of obsolete these days, and Kayla's introduced to these older high schoolers. They hang out at this mall, and she's really seeing how these older kids interact with one another and their sense of humor and things they like. It really opens up to this really nerve-wracking scene in the movie that really kept me on the edge of my seat with Kayla and this older high school boy and him trying to make a move on her and realizing that this is pretty fucked up and you didn't know what's going to happen. So I don't want to ruin any of that, but that's one particular scene in the movie that really kept you on the edge of your seat. With that being said, Bo Burnham has crafted a really, really great story here. Probably one of the more original films of 2018. We're wrapped up in superhero movies and horror and things like that. This is more like a modern take on like a John Hughes film, like a Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles, and seeing where kids are today and how they're wrapped up in technology and social media, and that they can't communicate with one another in person and they can't go hang out. They're always on their phones, and it's really kind of sad to see that. With me being in 8th grade, we didn't really have cell phones, and a common theme here is how kids today are just using social media and really not forming real relationships. Everything's over the internet. And I think that's kind of what Bo Burnham was going at with this story. Kids having Snapchat accounts at like 5th grade and things like that's absurd. And hopefully my son will not be using the cell phone at that age until he's, in high school. And there's a lot of great themes and stories here, great performances by Elsie Fisher playing Kayla. She was obviously the stand-up performance, and really seeing her life from the beginning to the end, going into high school and everything she comes across, and building confidence and trying to make friends and, just be yourself and be a good person. And I really appreciated that. She did an excellent job in this film. I want to give it up to Bo Burnham for writing and directing this film. He directed The Big Sick, which was another great film that came out a few years ago, and really looking forward to his future work and other stories he's going to tell. So if you guys have not seen 8th grade, you should definitely check it out. It was put out by A24, one of my favorite studios. They put out a lot of great independent films that are all very original. Nothing is really the same with the studio. So I'm going to give Bo Burnham's 8th grade 4 out of 5 grade school hair pieces. So what did you guys think of 8th grade? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Did you guys get a lot of flashbacks like I did for being in 8th grade? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe. This is Logan Myerz signing out from 8th grade. Ugh, what an awkward time in my life. Ugh. Until next time, cheers!